Am I the a-hole for refusing to pay for my boyfriend's bro night after he put me on the spot? So I, 24 female, have been dating my boyfriend, 26 male, for about a year. He's super into his weekly bro nights with his friends, which I totally support. I usually just chill at home, do my own thing, no problem. This past Friday, we were out grabbing dinner when his friends called, asking him to come over for poker and drinks. He said sure, and then, right in front of them, turned to me and went, "Babe, you got this, right?" Meaning the bill. I was caught off guard but figured, whatever, I'll cover dinner. But then he added, "And can you send me some money for drinks? I'm kinda low on cash." At this point, his friends were laughing and hyping him up like, "Yeah, take care of your man." I felt super awkward but just said, "Nope, I think you got it." He got quiet, paid for his half, and left. Later he texted saying I embarrassed him in front of his friends and that I made him look like he doesn't wear the pants in the relationship. I told him I'm happy to treat him sometimes, but I don't like being put on the spot, especially when it's for him to go out without me. Now he's sulking, and his friends are apparently joking about how he lost his sponsor. Am I the a-hole for standing my ground? Now for the top comments before reading the mini update. Your reaction was perfectly acceptable. Your boyfriend is trying to show his friends how much of a doormat you are. You showed all of them you're not the a-hole. The lost your sponsor comment says it all. He's likely bragged to his friends about OP paying for stuff. I'd like to know what the financial dynamics are in this relationship. Does the boyfriend work full-time? Does OP? He certainly sounds like he's mooching off OP. Oh, absolutely. With this kind of manners, that's what he deserves. If you're not breaking up with him, his next bro night would be a great time to get dressed up and go out with the girls and show him that you don't need him, which it seems he's forgotten. He is a joke. Run. Not gonna lie, I'm starting to think the same. The moment he barked, I bit, and he started whining. We haven't talked much since. What does wear the pants mean to him in this? Like he's the boss, and your money is freely disposable to his demands? That has me concerned, and that is financial abuse, especially the taking you to task later. I'm assuming you're American too, and he means trousers, not underwear, but that's an aside. Mini update. We officially just broke up. Next story. Am I the a-hole for freaking out on my boyfriend after he and his friends ate the cake I made for my friend's birthday? I, 19 female, have been with my boyfriend, 22 male, and let's call him Jonah, for 5 years, and we have a 4-year-old Anna. He's a good dad, don't get me wrong. He loves our kid, plays with her, and helps out when it's his turn for the most part. But sometimes it feels like he just does what he wants, and I'm the only one who actually has to be the responsible adult in this situation. Like, I don't care that he still hangs out with his friends. I do too when I have the time and want him to have fun or whatever. But when they come over, they get way too rowdy. They'll be drinking, blasting music, smoking, weed, not cigarettes, but still, I don't want that around my kid. And just being loud. I've told him a million times that's not the kind of energy I want our daughter around, and he just acts like I'm being uptight. So when I know he's having a chill night with them, I usually just take Anna to my parents' house so she doesn't have to deal with it. This time, I was actually excited to get out of the house for another reason. My best friend's birthday. She's been talking about this specific cake for months, a chocolate cheesecake stuffed sheet cake, which, by the way, took me forever to get right, so we agreed I'd make it for her birthday. I was so happy with how it turned out. Baking's one of the few little things I got in between taking care of Anna and online school, so I get really happy and proud about it when I do it, whether it's just for fun or for someone else. I spent hours making this cake. It was perfect. Before I left for my parents' house, I made it very, very clear to my boyfriend, do not touch this cake. It's for my friend. He kinda laughed and went, "Yeah, okay, babe," like I was being weird for even saying it. I come back the next morning, go to grab the cake, and half of it is gone. Like, a whole side of it just destroyed. I did have the thought maybe he would have cut himself a little piece, which would have still ticked me off, but whatever. But nope, his friends got into it too. I asked him what the heck happened, and Jonah just shrugged and told me that they had the munchies. Like that was some kind of valid excuse. I was so mad. I told him I spent hours on it, that it was literally my best friend's birthday cake, and that I had specifically told him not to touch it. And he had the audacity to go, "Babe, it's just some cake. Why are you acting like this?" I don't know. Maybe because I put so much effort into it, and now I have nothing to bring to my friend's party. He kept going on about how I was blowing things out of proportion and how I could just make another one. As if I even have the time to do that and for it to be ready for the party. We kept arguing about it until he rolled his eyes at me and told me if I was gonna act like that over cake, then I could stay with my parents. So yeah, he kicked me out. I barely had time to grab my things and our daughter because he was practically shooing me out of the door and leave. Now I'm back at my parents' house, feeling so stupid for even being surprised. And of course, now Jonah's texting me acting all confused like he never did anything. He's saying, "I just needed space to cool down. I didn't mean for you to actually leave." I felt pretty justified until my mom told me basically that I need to let things like this and not overreact so much over mistakes. My mom is usually right when she tells me things like this. So yeah. Not the a-hole, and you need to think about your future and your daughter's future as well. If you stay with him, then your daughter will grow up thinking that these things are normal, but it is not. Either start saving up money to go somewhere else, or give that little boy a choice. He's 22. He's going to be an a-hole for at least 10 to 15 more years. Does OP want to be with 3 children with an ass? Get out of my house. I don't know why you left. I just needed space. Grade AAA ass. In my opinion, he's going to be an a-hole forever. OP is just enabling him. Nah, I'm sorry. My youngest brother can be a complete and utter turd. I love him, but he absolutely is like 80% of the time. He also smokes weed and gets the munchies. But even as a teenager, he didn't go around stealing anyone's birthday cake. My father, on the other hand, never smoked weed, but still felt the urge to eat my whole 8th birthday cake. He was 37. If a guy is a jerk, he's a jerk. No matter what he's smoking or how old he is. If OP thinks this guy won't do the same thing to his daughter, should he wish to, then I'd say don't bet on it. It's a form of control. He's seeing how far he can push before his teen girlfriend snaps. I'd tell OP to stay with her parents or find her own place and tell this dude to get gone. He wants to be a parent? He can do it on his own time when he's not off his face on weed. OP can do a million times better. Leave him and make sure to get child support. You and your daughter deserve better than him. I get what you're saying, but his parents will rain hellfire on my soul if I try that. Ask your parents for help too. I'm sure they can find just as vicious lawyers as his parents. Also keep receipts, any texts of him acting out. Also any record of him smoking weed around your daughter, texts, pictures, etc. His lawyers can be overpaid holes, but can't argue with facts. I'm not sure if they'd lend the money, to be honest. Besides them only helping like that if you're literally and truly homeless, they're very much kids need 2 parents types. Next story. Am I the a-hole for being upset that my friends are maintaining friendships with my spouse who cheated? I, male 37, discovered my wife, female 33, was having an affair with a co-worker last October. This was devastating to uncover. We had been together for close to 7 years. We're married for around a year, and we're actively trying to have a child all last year. When I confronted her about the situation, she told me she was going to stop the affair as soon as we got pregnant, but was never going to come forward about what had happened. She put the blame for her infidelity on my sobriety. I went into recovery from alcohol over a year prior to the affair, which was such an infuriating scapegoat for her behavior. She refused to take accountability for her actions and decided to blame me. It was beyond upsetting. I moved out and started rebuilding again, and by all accounts, everything is going very well. I managed to land on my feet, which feels pretty great. The only thing that continues to bother me is that many of my friends have taken the position of wanting to remain friends with both of us. I introduced my ex to my core friend group that I have known for a while when we had started dating, and over the course of our relationship, she had become good friends with them as well. Many of them have said they are upset by what she did, but that what happened is between the two of us, and that they are going to be friends with both of us. I've communicated many times since the split that this position is hurtful to me, and that it makes me feel like they are willing to simply look past what happened, as if it's acceptable in some ways. I want to move on without having her attached to my life or social circle, and it makes me feel terrible that this just doesn't seem possible, given the position my friends have taken. When I communicate this, the message tends to get back to my ex, who in turn gets upset that I'm talking about her when all I'm doing is expressing feelings. It makes me want to distance myself. Edit. Since some are focusing on my sobriety, I'm just going to add that my decision to stop drinking was primarily focused on longevity. My friend group likes to party a lot, and the same was the case for my ex and I. I got to a point where it felt like it no longer fit into my life, and I was tired of feeling like crap all of the time. That particular lifestyle just no longer was the way I wanted to go. Now for the comments. Those were and are not your friends. Know that and know peace. The same way you could walk away from your cheating partner, you can walk away from those fake friends. Exactly. Real friends wouldn't stay neutral in a situation like this. You deserve a support system that actually has your back. My buddy got cheated on. She was a mutual friend at that point. We took all of the photos that had any of us in them and left vinegar in her ice trays. Just petty stuff so he knew what side we were on. You can't force your friends to drop her or quit talking to her. I'm assuming you're all grown adults and can see who is wrong and why it would affect you. If they want to stay neutral, let them, but it's not your place to stick around and tolerate. If your friends are adamant about being neutral in a situation where it's not really possible, then they just don't want confrontation, and I think you may have to slowly distance yourself and see how they act due to it. Correct. I'm not trying to force anything at all. I'm just upset that they have all the facts, and many are choosing to remain neutral. They said they want to be supportive to both of us, but I have a suspicion that if the roles were reversed, I would probably not receive the same treatment. Next story. Am I the a-hole for breaking up with my boyfriend after what his mother told me? I am new to this and just needed advice outside of my family and friends. So I, female 23, have been with my boyfriend, male 24, for 3 years. I love him. We had an amazing relationship where we both supported each other in everything we did, or at least I thought we did, until I met his mother. The reason I hadn't met his mother until recently was because she lives out of state, and we hadn't had the time to. Anyway, the first time I met his mother, she asked if I was taking care of her boy, like feeding him, doing his laundry, cleaning our house, and I said yes, I am. Mind you, I'm working one job while going to college, and I come home and start cleaning while he is just playing video games or taking a nap. She asked me if I was a stay-at-home girlfriend. I said no, I'm not, that I have a good paying job and I'm going to college. She told me I should drop out and quit my job to be a stay-at-home girlfriend. I said no, I really want to become a lawyer and I need college to do so. She looked shocked and told my boyfriend he deserves better than me. He didn't argue with her and agreed that he deserves a girlfriend who is a stay-at-home girlfriend. Later that night, I broke up with him and moved out the next day. He asked me why I broke up with him, and I told him he deserves better than me, apparently. He told me I was making a big deal out of nothing, and I said, okay, whatever. I cried that night to my sister and got drunk. His family thinks I overreacted and broke up with him for no reason. My family is, of course, on my side. I didn't make a big deal out of it, just said we are over, packed my stuff, and moved out. But now I need to know, am I the a-hole? Not the a-hole. You made the right call. The only way you could have been wrong is if you fell in line with their expectations of who you should be for him. Not the a-hole. If she feels this way and he vehemently doesn't to the point that he'd put a stop to that ridiculous talk, you did the right thing. He's immature and you would have had trouble getting on the same page in life. You probably dodged a bullet. This relationship was bound to end anyways. She was studying hard to become a lawyer, cooked, cleaned, and had a job. He just existed. No mention of what he does, except play video games and be useless at home. She was bound to outgrow him. The mother just pumped the brakes. That relationship was over the moment she met his mother. Him agreeing with the mom was just a nail in the coffin. Not an a-hole, just a smart woman standing up for herself. Last story. Am I the a-hole for not proposing to my girlfriend and just playing house? I, 26 male, have been with my girlfriend, 26 female, since we were 16. We've grown up together, went to college together, moved in together, and built a life that honestly feels good. We both have solid jobs, split everything evenly, and we even got a dog last year. Neither of us wants to get married. It's not some deep anti-marriage stance or anything. We're just happy the way things are. Last weekend, we went to her parents' place for dinner. Things were normal. Her mom was chatting with her about work. Her dad and I were watching whatever game was on. After dinner, her dad asked me to help him grab something from the garage. Once we got in there, he shut the door and got serious. He said something like, "Look, you've been with my daughter for 10 years now. What's the plan here? You guys aren't kids anymore. You're just playing house at this point." I was caught completely off guard. I stammered something like, "We're happy where we are." But he shook his head and said, "It's time to step up. If you love her, and I think you do, make it official. Otherwise, what are you doing?" I didn't really know what to say. I respect the guy, but the whole thing rubbed me the wrong way. It felt like he was implying I'm wasting her time or stringing her along, which isn't true. I love her, and I always figured we'd get married, but I wanted it to be something we decided together, when it felt right, not because her dad cornered me about it. I didn't tell her about the conversation. It didn't feel worth bringing up, since I didn't want to make things awkward between her and her dad. But now the whole thing's in my head. It's like I can't stop thinking about whether I'm doing something wrong by not proposing yet, even though we've never talked about a timeline. Am I the a-hole for not proposing after her dad called me out? Or for not telling her about the conversation? You need to talk to your girlfriend. The only opinions that matter in a relationship are the two people in it. 100% this. Dad meant well but was out of line. You and the girlfriend need to talk. She might be feeling this way too. Or dad just went dad mode on independent ops. It happens to the best of girl dads. Not the a-hole, but please, talk to her. If you two have an agreement on a timelines, it shouldn't matter what other people think. My husband and I have been together 10 years. We dated for 3, were engaged for 3, and then married on our 6-year anniversary. We did things at our pace. Maybe there is a world where your girlfriend said something offhandedly about marriage, and her dad took the Papa Bear approach to see what your intentions are with his daughter. Either way, have a conversation about what your concerns are and what she wants. She may be ready now and nervous to express that. Just create an atmosphere where you two can have an open and honest conversation about what you guys want and when you're hoping to have her do it. I do think you should tell her about the conversation with her dad though, because it made you uncomfortable. And that's also a valid feeling.